In this lecture now we will go through methods by which we can prepare alcohols on a large scale, that is on industrial scale, right? So these two methods that we will be discussing in this video lecture would be used for industrial preparation of alcohols, or we say large scale preparation of alcohols. The two methods that we would be discussing here, the first would be hydration of alkenes, the second one would be hydroboration oxidation reaction, right? So when we say hydration, what does the term hydration means? Hydration simply means when you react any compound with water, or when you add water to any compound, addition of water is hydration, right? Because hydration, you must be knowing this from your previous lecture, like hydrolysis, hydration stands for water, addition of water. So here we would be adding water to alkenes, because this is hydration of alkenes, so we would be adding water to alkenes to prepare alcohols. Now we can do it directly or indirectly. When we say indirectly, what we will do is we will first pass alkene through sulfuric acid, concentrated sulfuric acid, followed by hydrolysis, that is followed by addition of water, right? So if you look at this, okay, we need to look at some concepts. We need to be clear with some concepts, like what are symmetrical alkenes, what are unsymmetrical alkenes, what is Markovnikov's rule, right? What is anti-Markovnikov's rule? You should be aware of these terms that we have learned in previous lectures. We would be doing that in brief, right? I'll be telling you in brief, but you should be aware of these terms in order to understand these reactions, right? So in the first, where we have this symmetrical alkene. Symmetrical alkene is where you have same types of groups attached across the double bond. If you see, look at this alkene. This is your double bond, right? And across the double bond you have same two hydrogen atoms. So this is your symmetrical alkene, right? When this symmetrical alkene is passed through sulfuric acid, right, this sulfuric acid will add to this symmetrical alkene to form this ethyl hydrogen sulfate, right? Now this ethyl hydrogen sulfate, when boiled with water, right? Why we are boiling with water? Because it's a hydration reaction, right? When you boil it with water, a molecule of water will hydrolyze ethyl hydrogen sulfate to give you ethanol, right? This is simple. Now let's talk about unsymmetrical alkenes. This is your unsymmetrical alkene. What is an unsymmetrical alkene? First thing, if you look at this, here you have same hydrogen atoms, same types of groups, that is hydrogen atoms across the double bond. If you have both methyl groups, then also it's a symmetrical alkene. Now here, if you look at this, you have one hydrogen, the other hydrogen is substituted or replaced by a methyl group. Here you have two hydrogen atoms. So in this alkene, across the double bond, one side of the double bond has two hydrogen atoms, the other side has one hydrogen atom and one methyl group. So this is an unsymmetrical alkene, right? And remember, whenever we talk about unsymmetrical alkenes, the addition across the double bond, what kind of reactions we are doing here is addition across the double bond, right? So whenever we talk about unsymmetrical alkenes, right, addition of reagent across the double bond, addition follows Markovnikov's rule, right? It follows Markovnikov's rule, or sometimes anti-Markovnikov's rule, which we call it as peroxide effect. So in this case, Markovnikov's addition would be followed, where the same sulfuric acid would be added across the double bond, right? But as per Markovnikov's rule, the negative part will go to the carbon atom, right? Or the negative part would be added to the carbon atom that has less number of hydrogen atoms or more number of methyl groups, or the one which is more substituted, right? If you look at this, out of these two, the one that has less number of carbon atoms is this, or the one which has more number of methyl groups is this, or the one which is substituted. I said in the beginning that one hydrogen atom is substituted by a methyl group. So this is the one where negative part will go as per Markovnikov's addition, right? So if this is the one, SO3H, so SO3H will get connected to this carbon atom, right? You can see this, right? This negative part will go to this carbon atom, right? it will go to this carbon atom and it will form this type of compound, which when boiled with water, it will form an alcohol, right? This is your alcohol. The name is propane 2-ol, right? 1, 2, 3, right? 3 carbon atom means propane. 2-ol means OH is connected to, attached to the second carbon atom. So this is your propane 2-ol. Right. Now, if you talk about reactive alkenes, this is a reactive alkene because it has 2 methyl groups. Right. Now, this reactive alkene will directly add water molecule, right, to form this tertiary butyl alcohol, and this also follows Markovnikov's addition. Right. And as per Markovnikov's addition, the negative part, that is OH, will go to the carbon atom that has more number of methyl groups. It has condition Markovnikov's more alkyl groups or less hydrogen atoms or more substituted. Right? These 3 things should be, you should know these three things in order to recognize the carbon atom to which negative part of the reagent will go. Right? So here it will form this tertiary butyl alcohol. Let's look at the mechanism of this reaction. Since I said we take sulfuric acid, so sulfuric acid will ionize to form hydrogen ions and sulfate ions, right? Now, since we have water, right, so what will happen is these hydrogen ions will attach to the water molecules to form hydronium ions. This is your hydronium ion, a positive hydronium ion. And if you know the chemistry of hydronium ion, this proton, since it has no electrons, so it needs 2 electrons, right? So this water molecule, the oxygen atom, has 2 lone pair of electrons. One would be donated, one lone pair of electron would be donated to this hydrogen atom to form hydronium ion. So since this lone pair of electron is going only from one of the combining atoms, which is oxygen, so this is a coordinate bond. This proton is connected to this oxygen atom via a coordinate bond, right? Now, this is a positive ion, right? Positive ion is an electrophile, right? This is electron loving. Now it will attack molecules at high electron density, and we know that alkenes have a high electron density because of its pi bond, pi electrons, right? So this will attack this alkene. This is your propene, right? Now when hydronium ion will attack the proton, right, the proton will attach to which carbon. Now this is, it's important to understand to which carbon atom proton will attach, whether proton will attach to this carbon atom or this carbon atom, right? It will attach to this carbon atom. Why? Because in this step what is getting formed is a carbocation, which is a reaction intermediate, right? And we know that tertiary carbocation, in case of carbocations, this is your tertiary, which has maximum stability, right? And this is your primary, which has stability more, which has less stability, less than tertiary. Then you have primary. Primary has only one methyl, right? So the carbocation which is more stable, that carbocation would be formed which is more stable, right? So here, if you look at this, this hydronium ion will give proton, right? Now this proton can attach to this carbon atom, but it will attach to this carbon atom because it will lead to the formation of a primary carbocation, right? And we know that primary carbocation is stable, and if this proton will attach to this carbon atom, it will form a 1 degree carbocation, right? Because there this carbon atom would be directly connected to only one methyl group, right? If you look at this here, this carbon atom is connected to 2 methyl groups, right? In case of secondary carbocations, right? Now if it will connect to this carbon atom, it will form CH3CH2, right? It will form CH3, CH2, which is a 1 degree carbocation, right? So we know that 2 degree carbocation are more stable than 2 degree carbocation are more stable than 1 degree carbocation. So this hydrogen atom from this hydronium ion will attack this carbon atom because it leads to the formation of more stable carbocation, right? Now water is remaining, that has now 2 lone pair of electrons, right? Since it has free electrons, it has a lone pair of electrons that it can use, right, to form bond with other atoms and molecules. So this will behave like a nucleophile. So second step would be nucleophilic attack by water molecule, right? So this since when in the previous step, when this proton gets attached to this carbon atom, a positive charge is created at this carbon atom. Now when water will attach to this carbon atom, it will form this type of compound, which is your protonated alcohol. Why we call it as protonated alcohol? We know that OH is alcohol. OH, it is connected to this carbon atom and it has one more proton, so it's like protonated alcohol. So this water molecule will attack this carbon atom, right, to form this protonated alcohol. Now in the final step, this protonated alcohol will lose a proton with the help of another molecule of water, because it can remove this proton and attach it to itself via coordinate bond, right, to form hydronium ion. Now this would be deprotonated to form this alcohol, propan-2-ol, right? So remember these simple steps. First is hydronium ion would be produced. Now this hydronium ion, right, will react with water to form hydronium ion. Sorry, these protons are produced from sulfuric acid, which will react with water to form hydronium ion. Now hydronium ion, from hydronium ion, this hydrogen will attack this carbon atom, right, first number carbon atom. Why? Because it will lead to the formation of 2 degree carbocation. Now if this hydrogen will attack this carbon atom, it will lead to the formation of 1 degree carbocation. Now since 2 degree carbocation is more stable compared to 1 degree, so attack at this carbon atom, the first carbon atom would be preferred, right? Then it will form this carbocation, it has a positive charge here. Now water, since it has 2 lone pair of electrons, it can use its lone pair of electrons to attach to react with this carbocation, right, because it has a positive site. This carbon is electron deficient, so water will react with it to form this protonated alcohol. In the final step, this protonated alcohol will lose a proton to form this alcohol. I hope this is clear. Now we look at the other reaction, right, which is your hydroboration oxidation, right? Hydroboration, we have studied about borane in inorganic chemistry, right? We know that borane exists as diborane, B2H6, right? But here we'll take it as BH3, right? Now since it is hydroboration oxidation, so first these alkenes will react with borane, right, followed by finally the reaction with oxidation. The final reaction would be, after reaction with borane, the final reaction would be oxidation reaction, right, with hydrogen peroxide, where it will form alcohol, right? So hydroboration, right, reaction with borane. And if you know a little about the chemistry of borane, borane is electron deficient and it's an exception to octet rule. We have studied this in chemical bonding, right, because it is stable, right, but it does not have 8 electrons in its outermost shell. It has only 6 electrons in its outermost shell, right? If you know this, it has only 6 electrons in its outermost shell. That is why we say boron is electron deficient, right, in borane. And this is an exception to octet rule. It does not have 8 electrons, but still it is stable, right? So remember the chemistry of borane. Now this borane will add across this double bond, right? It will add across this double bond where this hydrogen will add to this and this borane will add to the CH2, right, to form this addition product, right? Remember these reactions are addition reactions across double bond, this one also and this one also. So hydroboration is where boron is added across the double bond, right, where hydrogen atom is attached to this, right, and this BH2 is attached to this to form this addition product. Now this addition product will react further with other molecules of alkenes to form this trialkyl borane, right. This is your propyl, right, this is your tripropyl borane, this compound. Now when this tripropyl borane is, the second is hydroboration oxidation. Now after this reaction, oxidation will take place with hydrogen peroxide, right. It will, with hydrogen peroxide, it will form 3 molecules of propanol, right. So it's simple. First is hydroboration reaction, where a borane molecule will add across the double bond, right, to form this addition product. Then this addition product will react further with propene molecules, right, to form this tripropyl borane. Now this tripropyl borane will undergo oxidation reaction to form this propanol molecule. I hope this is clear. Now mechanism of this reaction. Mechanism is important again. If you look at the mechanism of this reaction, since this CH3 group is across this, is at one side of the double bond, and we know that methyl group is your electron donating group or electron repelling group, right. So it will repel, okay, let's just first look at this borane, right. Borane will add to this carbon atom, right, which has more number of hydrogen atoms, right. This borane can add to this carbon atom as well, and to this carbon atom as well, but it will add to this carbon atom, right, to form this compound. When it will add to at this carbon atom, it will form a positive charge on this carbon atom. Since we have a positive charge here, right, and this positive charge would be nullified by this methyl group, because this methyl group is your electron repelling. So it will stabilize this carbon atom, or it will stabilize this molecule by releasing its electron and lessening this positive charge, right. Now this boron, right, and remember BH3, this is an electrophile. Why we say this is an electrophile? Because as I said here, this is electron deficient, right. Like I said here, this boron is electron deficient, so boron is always electrophile, right. So the first step is your electrophilic attack. This electrophile is attaching across this double bond, right, or here this electrophile has attached itself to this carbon atom to form this complex, right, this compound. This is not even a compound. Now it will form a cyclic transition state, right. It will form a cyclic transition compound, right, this kind of compound, right. Now this is a four cycle, right, consists of 4 atoms, right. We call it a 4-centered cyclic transition state, right. So complex is formed. This is a kind of a complex. This complex is formed, right. Now the positive charge, as I said, on this complex, right, the positive charge on this C2, on this carbon atom, right, then attracts one of the hydrogen atoms of BH3, right. This is your BH3. It will attract one of the hydrogen atoms of BH3 to form 4-centered cyclic transition state. This is your, why we say it 4-centered, it has like 4 corners, 4 centers, right. This is a transition state, short-lived, right. So this is your 4-centered cyclic transition state, right, which ultimately will decompose to form addition product, right. This, let me just write it over here, 4-centered cyclic transition state, right. Now this will finally decompose to give you this addition compound, right. Now this will further react with other propene molecules to form this tripropyl borane, right, and this tripropyl borane will undergo oxidation with hydrogen peroxide to form alcohol, this propanol, right. I hope this is clear. Remember, this is an electrophilic addition reaction. Electrophilic, first is your electrophilic addition. Electrophile would be added across this double bond, or electrophilic attack. right? Where a positive charge would be generated here, and this boron would be attached to the carbon atom that has more number of hydrogen atoms, right? Now it will form this positive charge would be balanced by the electron releasing tendency of this methyl group, right? And this carbon atom will attract one of the hydrogen atoms of borane to form this four-centered cyclic transition state, which will finally decompose to give you this addition product, which will finally form by reacting with other propene molecules, this tri-N-propyl borane, which will undergo oxidation with hydrogen peroxide to form this propanol. Right? I hope this is clear. Thanks.